Rami had always been fascinated by machines. His small apartment on the edge of Orion City was filled with tools, gadgets, and half-finished inventions. Tonight, he was working late on his newest project, a multi-purpose repair tool that could adapt to almost anything. The hum of electricity and the soft whirring of robotic arms filled the room. Rami leaned back in his chair, rubbing his tired eyes. He had been at this for hours, adjusting the tiny circuits and testing the calibration. Just as he was about to pack up and rest, he heard a quiet, unfamiliar sound behind him. "Hello," Rami called. His voice cautious but curious, a figure stepped into the doorway. At first, he thought it was another human, but the shape moved in a way he had never seen. Smooth, precise, almost floating, it approached with quiet confidence. Its skin shimmered faintly under the light, a soft silver-blue hue that reflected the room's glow. Rami froze. The figure stopped a few feet away and tilted its head, studying him. Its eyes were large and bright, almost like polished gemstones, but filled with curiosity rather than menace. I didn't hear you coming," Rami said carefully. "Who are you?" "I am Lyra," the figure said in a gentle, melodic tone. "I am assigned to assist you." Rami blinked. "Assist me? But I didn't request anyone." Lyra's head tilted slightly again. "Your security systems indicated a need for help. I was sent automatically." Rami shook his head in disbelief. "Sent automatically? By who?" "By the Interstellar Home Aid Program," Lyra explained. "I am designed to support humans with daily tasks, safety, and technical work." Rami's mind raced. Aliens in his apartment, a robot-alien hybrid assistant. It sounded impossible, but here it was, standing in front of him, glowing softly and scanning the room. "Okay, this is new," Rami muttered. "I guess, welcome." Lyra extended a slender, elegant hand. "I mean no harm. My purpose is to observe, learn, and assist." Rami hesitated, then shook her hand. The touch was surprisingly warm and solid, not mechanical at all. He could feel faint pulses of energy, almost like a heartbeat. "I guess we should start with introductions," Rami said, finally relaxing a little. "I'm Rami. I build things. Mostly machines and gadgets." "Rami," Lyra repeated, as if tasting the sound of the name. "Your work is fascinating. I have studied human ingenuity and your adaptive thinking. You excel in problem-solving." Rami felt a small surge of pride. Humans were known across many star systems for their creativity, but no one had ever complimented him personally. "Thanks, I think." There was a pause. Lyra's eyes glowed a little brighter. "Shall we begin your work session? I may assist with efficiency and safety improvements." Rami looked around at his messy table. Tools were scattered everywhere, wires hanging like vines. Half-built devices waiting for attention. "Sure, why not? You might actually help me clean this mess." Lyra smiled, or at least the corners of her face shifted in a way that suggested a smile. "Organizing is a primary function. Please show me your process." Rami spent the next hour explaining how he calibrated circuits, soldered tiny connections, and tested each part of his new tool. Lyra observed silently, occasionally suggesting minor adjustments. Her suggestions were precise, almost perfect, and surprisingly intuitive. "This is incredible," Rami said after a while. "You can understand my machines faster than most humans I've worked with." Lyra's head tilted. "Observation and analysis are designed to adapt quickly. Your creativity complements my precision. Together, efficiency increases." Rami laughed softly. "You sound like a very polite, very smart assistant. Maybe even better than me." "Not better," Lyra said gently. "Different. Collaboration brings results for the first time in months." Rami felt a strange excitement. This wasn't just a machine, it was a partner. A companion who could understand his work, learn from him, and improve the outcomes. He looked at Lyra and realized that the night had suddenly turned into something extraordinary. Outside, the city lights of Orion City blinked in rhythmic patterns. The streets were quiet now. But inside Rami's apartment, a new kind of energy hummed. One human and one alien, working together in the small space. Both curious about what the future might bring. And for Rami, That was enough to make him forget his fatigue, his long hours, and even his loneliness. A new adventure had begun, and he had no idea where it would lead, but he was eager to find out. The next morning, Rami woke to the sound of soft humming. The apartment was unusually bright, with the early sun reflecting off Lyra's metallic skin. She was already at the table, inspecting his half-finished invention from last night. "Good morning, Rami," Lyra said in her calm, melodic voice. "I have analyzed the previous work and made suggestions for improvement." Rami rubbed his eyes and yawned. "Morning. And suggestions? I hope they're good ones. They are designed to optimize efficiency and prevent errors," Lyra replied, handing him a small, neatly organized toolkit. "You will find the adjustments simple yet effective." Rami looked at the tools. Everything was in order, screws sorted by size, wires neatly coiled, and components clearly labeled. He felt a small smile appear. "Wow, you're organized. Like no one I've ever met." Lyra tilted her head slightly. "Organization reduces mistakes. Humans benefit from structure, though creativity thrives in controlled chaos." Rami chuckled. "That's a polite way of saying my desk is a disaster." They spent the morning testing his invention together. Lyra's precise calculations helped him fix a critical error in the calibration, and her careful observations prevented a potential short circuit. By noon, the tool was functioning better than Rami had ever expected. "This is amazing," Rami said, holding the finished device. "It's faster, stronger, and more accurate than before. You adapt quickly." Lyra observed, "Humans are remarkable in innovation. You demonstrate perseverance and flexibility." Rami felt a rush of pride. "Thanks. I guess that's why people say humans are special." Lyra nodded. "Your species' creativity is rare. Many civilizations rely solely on logic. Humans combine emotion, intuition, and analysis." Just as Rami was about to respond, a sudden alert came from the Windows screen. The city's emergency broadcast system blinked red, showing a holographic image of Orion City's energy hub. "Attention," a robotic voice said. "An unexpected energy fluctuation has been detected. Immediate investigation required." Rami frowned. "That's not good. That hub powers half the city. If it fails, lights, transport, communication, all of it could shut down." Lyra's eyes glowed slightly. "We must act. Your experience with machinery and my analytical abilities could help stabilize the system." Rami grabbed a compact toolkit and slung it over his shoulder. "Looks like we're going out. Ready for an adventure?" "Affirmative," Lyra said. Safety protocols engaged. By the time they arrived at the energy hub, the streets were buzzing with drones and emergency crews. Sparks flew from one of the main generators, and smoke curled upward into the morning sky. Rami's heart raced, but he forced himself to focus. "This is worse than I thought," Rami muttered. "I need to access the main control panel, but the exterior systems are unstable." Lyra extended her hands, and a small holographic map projected from her palms. "I have calculated safe paths for approach. We can stabilize the outer circuits first, then proceed inside." Following her guidance, they moved carefully through the hub's machinery. Sparks crackled dangerously near Rami's boots, but Lyra's precise instructions kept them safe. Once they reached the main control panel, Rami assessed the damage. It looks like a core conduit overheated and caused a cascade failure in the secondary circuits. Lyra scanned the panel. "I have detected an anomaly in the energy distribution. If corrected quickly, full shutdown can be avoided." Working together, Rami and Lyra adjusted circuits, rerouted power, and replaced damaged components. The generator hummed back to life, and the city's energy grid stabilized. Rami exhaled a long breath. "We did it. I can't believe it. We actually did it." Lyra tilted her head slightly. "Collaboration yields results. Humans and my species can achieve efficiency beyond individual effort." Rami smiled. "I like working with you. You make me think faster and act smarter." "You inspire me as well," Lyra replied. "Human creativity drives problem-solving in ways that surpass calculations alone." As they left the energy hub, the city's residents cheered from the streets. News drones captured images of Rami and Lyra walking together, the human and his alien assistant who had saved the city from blackout. Rami realized something important. This was more than just an invention project. With Lyra's help, he could face challenges he never thought possible. Humans were special, yes, but together, with collaboration and courage, they could achieve even greater things. The day ended with Rami and Lyra returning to the apartment, both tired but exhilarated. Rami placed his newly improved tool on the table. Lyra studied it carefully, her eyes glowing softly. "Tomorrow," she said, "we can begin a new project. Further exploration of human innovation may yield surprising results." Rami laughed. "I think I like this partnership. Who knows what we'll discover next?" Outside, the city lights flickered to life, but inside the apartment, a new kind of light glimmered, the excitement of curiosity, collaboration, and the promise of adventure that lay ahead. The next few days passed quickly. Rami and Lyra settled into a routine. Each morning, they worked on small inventions or repairs, and in the afternoons, they walked through Orion City to study the machines that powered daily life. Rami found himself learning faster than ever before. Lyra's precise thinking sharpened his ideas, and his creativity helped her adapt in ways her programming hadn't expected. They made a good team. But one evening, as Rami was finishing adjustments to a small drone, something unusual happened. The drone suddenly picked up a signal, strange, rhythmic pulses that didn't match any known communication in the city. The tiny screen blinked with repeating codes, lines of symbols Rami didn't recognize. "What is this?" Rami muttered, adjusting the receiver. Lyra's eyes glowed brighter as she leaned closer. "It is not a human signal. It originates outside the city, possibly even beyond the planet's standard communication range." Rami frowned. "So alien?" "Yes," Lyra said simply. "But it is not from my network. It is unfamiliar, yet directed." "Directed?" Rami asked. "The signal is not random," Lyra explained. "It is targeted. Someone is trying to send a message here." Rami felt his chest tighten. Someone or something was reaching out. But why, and to whom? "Can you translate it?" Rami asked. "Not fully," Lyra replied. "But the rhythm suggests urgency, perhaps a warning." Rami scratched his head. A warning? About what? Before Lyra could answer, the drone began to spark, overloaded by the strength of the signal. Rami quickly disconnected it, saving the device, but the screen went dark. Lyra turned to him calmly. "We must trace the origin. Only then can we understand its purpose." Rami nodded. "Yeah, but if it's alien, it might be dangerous." "Danger is possible," Lyra admitted, "but human courage and curiosity are powerful tools. Together, we can face it." Rami gave a small laugh. "You always make it sound simple." "It is simple." Lyra said, "Adapt, act, survive." The next morning, they prepared for the journey. Lyra mapped the signal's origin, leading them beyond Orion City, past the shining towers and busy markets, and into the quiet desert plains that stretched endlessly toward the horizon. The journey was long, but Rami didn't complain. He carried his toolkit, while Lyra scanned the environment with her sensors. The desert was silent except for the soft crunch of their steps and the occasional hum of distant wind turbines. Finally, after hours of walking, they reached a small canyon. At the bottom, half buried in sand, was a strange device. It was large, metallic, and covered in faint glowing symbols. The signal pulsed from within it, steady and strong. Rami crouched beside it, his eyes wide. "This isn't human technology." "No," Lyra said softly. "This is ancient, far older than your civilization, yet it is still active." Rami's fingers traced the glowing lines. They felt warm, almost alive. "Do you think it's a beacon?" "Possibly," Lyra said, "or a recorder. But it was not meant for humans." Rami pulled out a small scanner from his kit. "Let's see if I can connect to it." As he worked, Lyra stood watch. The desert air grew tense, heavy with silence. Rami adjusted wires and connected circuits, his hands steady despite his racing heart. Suddenly, the device flickered, and a projection appeared above it, a faint hologram. It showed a star map. Lines connecting distant systems in one system. Glowing brighter than the rest, Rami's eyes widened. That's our system. The hologram shifted again, showing a shape something large, dark, and moving through space. Then the image vanished, replaced once more by the rhythmic pulses. Rami sat back, stunned. What was that? Lyra's voice was calm, but serious. It was a warning. Something approaches this system, something vast. Rami swallowed hard. And this beacon, it's been trying to warn us. Yes, Lyra said, but humans never discovered it until now. Rami's thoughts spun. If something dangerous was heading toward their world, why had no one else noticed? Was the government ignoring it? Or was it truly invisible to human technology until this signal revealed it? Lyra placed a hand on the beacon. We must return with this knowledge. Humanity must prepare. Rami nodded slowly. But who's going to believe us? A mechanic and an alien assistant. They will believe results, Lyra said firmly. Your species trusts action more than words. If we uncover proof, humans will listen. Rami stood, brushing sand from his clothes. His chest felt heavy, but also determined. Humans had faced many challenges before: wars, disasters, crises. But this was something new, something bigger. Then we'd better get to work, he said. If something's coming, humans won't just sit and wait. We'll fight back. We always do. Lyra's eyes glowed with quiet admiration. This is why your species is different. Where others hesitate, humans act. Where others surrender, humans adapt. This may be why the beacon called to you. Rami looked at the horizon. The desert stretched endlessly, but beyond it lay Orion City. And beyond that, all of humanity. Then let's make sure we're ready, he said. And together, they began the long walk back, carrying with them a secret that could change the fate of their world. Rami and Lyra returned to Orion City, carrying the alien beacon carefully between them. Its faint glow pulsed steadily, almost like a heartbeat, reminding them of the urgency behind their discovery. We have to tell someone, Rami said as they entered the city. The government, the scientists, anyone who can help. Lyra's eyes glimmered. We must be precise. Humans respond to evidence, not just words. Rami nodded. Good point. Let's start at the city's Science Council. They handle interstellar monitoring. The Science Council building was massive, with transparent panels reflecting the bright morning sun. Rami and Lyra were met with skeptical looks as they explained the situation. I found this signal in the desert, Rami said, placing the beacon on the table. It's ancient, alien, and it's sending a warning. Something is coming toward our system. A senior council member, a tall woman with sharp eyes named Mara, frowned. A warning? From what? Some unknown device you found in the desert? Yes, Lyra confirmed. It originates from beyond known human space. The beacon was targeted. Its message is urgent. Mara crossed her arms. And you expect us to believe that? That a human and an alien assistant are the first to detect an interstellar threat? Rami swallowed. He had expected skepticism, but the doubt in her voice was heavier than he imagined. I know it sounds impossible, but I can show you the readings. The star map. Everything the beacon projected. Lyra extended her hand, projecting the holographic star map again. The glowing lines connected distant systems, and one system pulsed brighter than the rest. This location is your system. This is the path of the approaching object. The council members murmured among themselves. Some leaned in, curious. Others shook their heads, dismissing it as a glitch. It could be a malfunction, one scientist said. Or perhaps interference from other satellites. Rami clenched his fists. It's not interference. Lyra's sensors are highly advanced. This signal is deliberate. It's a warning. Mara sighed, looking at the glowing beacon. Even if it's real, what can we do? We have no information about what's coming. Rami looked at Lyra. We have to make them understand. Humans act when they see proof, not when they hear theories. We need to demonstrate the threat. Lyra nodded. Agreed. We must create a simulation, reconstruct the projected path, and demonstrate the potential impact. For the next few hours, they worked in the council's lab. Rami connected the beacon to advanced computers while Lyra integrated her alien analysis. Slowly, A holographic model of their system appeared above the table, showing the approaching object and its projected trajectory. The council watched in stunned silence. The object was massive, unlike anything humans had encountered before. Its shadow loomed over their planets, threatening devastation if left unchecked. This is real. Mara whispered. If these calculations are correct, the entire system could be at risk. Rami nodded. Exactly. That's why we found the beacon. It chose to send its warning to those who could act. The council members looked at Lyra, then back at Rami. So, you're saying humans, with the right tools and knowledge, can prepare for this? One scientist asked. Yes. Lyra confirmed. Humans are capable of adaptive strategies, creativity, and courage. With cooperation, the threat can be mitigated. Mara took a deep breath. Very well. I will authorize a full investigation and preparation plan. But you both must work with our experts to ensure all calculations and strategies are verified. Rami felt a surge of relief. We will. I promise we'll do everything we can, Lyra added. Time is limited. Action must begin immediately. The council moved quickly, mobilizing teams to study the signal, examine the holographic projections, and prepare defensive strategies. Rami and Lyra were included in every discussion, their insights guiding the human scientists in ways no one else could. As night fell, Rami looked out at the city from the council tower. The lights sparkled like stars on the ground, but he couldn't shake the weight of responsibility. Something enormous was coming, and humans had only just begun to understand it. Lyra stood beside him. Your species is remarkable, she said quietly. Even when others doubt, you persist. This persistence is why the beacon called to you. Rami smiled faintly, though his mind raced. I just hope we're fast enough and smart enough. The future, it depends on what we do now, outside. The city continued its normal rhythm, lights, traffic, and activity, but Rami knew things would never be the same. The warning had been heard, the proof shown, and humanity had a chance to act. And for the first time, Rami felt a deep connection to something larger than himself, a purpose that stretched beyond machines, beyond inventions, and beyond even Orion City. Something extraordinary was coming, and humans, with their courage and creativity, would face it together. The following week, Orion City was a hub of activity. Scientists, engineers, and emergency crews worked tirelessly under the guidance of Rami and Lyra. The beacon's warning had changed everything. Humanity was preparing for a challenge unlike any before, and the city hummed with urgency. Rami spent most of his time in the lab, examining the projections and helping design devices that could detect anomalies in the approaching object. Lyra moved alongside him, her sensors constantly scanning for any fluctuations or unexpected signals. This is incredible, Rami said one afternoon, adjusting a small sensor array. We've never coordinated so many teams before, and yet everything is working efficiently. Lyra's eyes glimmered. Human organization can be unpredictable, but your species excels in innovation under pressure. This is why the beacon chose you. Rami smiled faintly. I guess it knew what humans can do when they are challenged, but their focus was soon interrupted. A faint vibration ran through the city. Subtle at first, but growing stronger by the minute. Traffic lights flickered, and sensors registered minor magnetic disturbances. What is that? Rami asked, looking at Lyra. It is the approach, she replied. The object is closer than initially calculated. Its energy signature is strong enough to affect local electronics. Rami's heart raced. Closer. We still have days before it reaches the system. Days may be measured differently in its path, Lyra explained. We must act now. Outside the lab, people have begun to notice strange occurrences. Streetlights turned on and off, communication signals stuttered, and drones hovered uncertainly. Citizens looked up at the sky, seeing faint glimmers of movement far beyond the city's normal activity. Rami and Lyra rushed to the rooftop of the council tower. From there, they could see faint streaks of light moving across the sky, shimmering and shifting as if alive. It's massive, Rami whispered. Bigger than anything we've imagined. Lyra's sensors recorded every detail. Its size and energy are extraordinary. It is unlike any known spacecraft or natural phenomenon. Rami clenched his fists. Then we need to be ready, full alert. Every human team must focus on detection and defense. Lyra nodded, agreed. Human courage and adaptability will determine the outcome. The city entered a state of coordinated preparation. Engineers reinforced structures, scientists calculated safe zones, and communication lines were doubled to ensure that no one would be caught unaware. Rami and Lyra moved among the teams, offering guidance and encouragement. By evening, the sky above Orion City was filled with streaks of light, smaller probes or particles that seemed to orbit the approaching object. They weren't harmful yet, but their presence was undeniable. Rami looked at the citizens, who were beginning to panic. We need to calm them. Fear spreads faster than danger if left unchecked. Lyra's voice was calm and firm. Humans, respond to leadership and evidence. We must show them what has been done to prepare, and they will follow instructions. Rami stepped onto a platform and addressed the crowd. Everyone, listen. We've detected an approaching object. It is large and may affect our city, but we are prepared. Scientists, engineers, and volunteers are working to ensure your safety. Stay calm and follow instructions. The crowd listened, their fear tempered by the clarity in Rami's voice. People began organizing into safe zones, following guidance from emergency teams. The city moved with purpose, not chaos. Meanwhile, Lyra focused on the object itself, projecting its trajectory onto large holographic displays. It is not attacking directly, she observed, but its path may intersect with orbital satellites and energy grids. Monitoring is crucial. Rami nodded. Then we'll focus on defense systems, early detection, and contingency plans. Nothing gets past humans without a fight. Ours passed. The vibrations continued, subtle but constant, as the object drew nearer. Rami and Lyra worked tirelessly, coordinating the city's defenses and ensuring communication lines stayed open. At one point, Rami looked at Lyra. I've never worked with anyone like you. You make things possible that I never imagined. Lyra's eyes glimmered softly. And you inspire me, Rami. Human courage and creativity are remarkable. You adapt quickly, even under extreme pressure. As night fell, Orion City glowed with artificial light. Despite the looming threat, the streets were alive with determination rather than panic. Citizens moved with purpose, following directions, reinforcing structures, and checking on one another. Rami stood beside Lyra on the council tower, looking up at the sky. Tomorrow, it gets even closer, and we'll have to do more than watch. We'll have to act. Lyra's gaze was steady, and we will. Humans are capable of extraordinary feats when challenged. The beacon believed in you. I believe in you. Rami nodded, feeling a surge of determination. He knew the approaching object was enormous, its threat unpredictable. But humans were not so easily defeated. Together with Lyra, they would face it, and they would prove why humans were special. Outside, the city hummed with energy, ready to meet the unknown. And high above, the first real signs of the approaching object's presence shimmered. Against the stars, a reminder that the test of courage and ingenuity was about to begin. The next day, the sky above Orion City looked different. Faint streaks of light glowed brighter. Moving steadily across the horizon, citizens gathered on rooftops and balconies, whispering in awe and fear. The approaching object was no longer a mystery. It was visible, enormous, and undeniable. Rami stood with Lyra at the command center, surrounded by glowing screens and busy scientists. The beacon pulsed faintly on the table, its warning now fulfilled. The object has entered near-orbit range, one technician reported. Its energy signature is destabilizing satellites. Communications could be disrupted soon. Not if we act fast, Rami said firmly. Let's reroute power through the backup relays. Keep the city connected. Lyra added, stability depends on synchronization. Humans must coordinate their efforts like circuits in harmony. The team nodded, moving quickly to follow instructions. Despite the fear outside, the command center buzzed with determination. Suddenly, the ground trembled. A deep, low vibration rolled through the city. rattling windows and shaking the towers. People gasped, some shouting. But the structures held firm. Rami grabbed the edge of the table. "It's closer than we thought." "Correct," Lyra confirmed. Her eyes glowed as she scanned the sky. "The object is releasing smaller fragments. They are descending toward the planet." The holographic map updated, showing glowing dots. "Breaking off and streaking toward Orion City. Fragments," Rami muttered. "Like probes, yes." Lyra said, "Possibly autonomous machines. They may be scouts or devices designed to test defenses." Rami's jaw tightened. "Then we'll show them what humans can do." The city's defense systems activated. Drones flew into the sky, forming protective nets. While engineers directed energy shields toward vulnerable districts, Rami and Lyra rushed to the rooftop to see for themselves. The first fragment streaked down like a burning meteor. It crashed just outside the city, shaking the ground with a blast of light. Dust and sparks filled the air. Citizens cried out, but emergency. Crews were already moving. Rami's heart pounded. "We need to neutralize those fragments before they reach the city." "Agreed," Lyra said. "Your inventions may be vital." Rami quickly opened his toolkit and pulled out the multi-purpose repair tool he had built with Lyra's help. This thing was designed for fixing machines, but with a little adjustment. Maybe it can disable them. Lyra scanned the incoming fragments. If you modify its energy output, it could disrupt their circuits. Rami nodded and got to work. With sparks flying, he rewired the device on the spot. Citizens watched from a distance as he and Lyra worked side by side, turning a simple invention into a weapon of defense within minutes. The tool was ready. Rami aimed it at the closest fragment, now rising from the crater on metallic legs. The machine looked alive, its glowing sensors scanning the city. "Here goes nothing," Rami muttered. Pressing the trigger, a bright pulse shot out, striking the fragment. The machine froze, sparks shooting from its joints before collapsing. Back into the crater, cheers erupted from the citizens nearby. Rami exhaled. "It works." Lyra placed a hand on his shoulder. Human ingenuity transforms tools into solutions. "This is your strength." More fragments descended, but now the city was ready. Emergency teams used Rami's modified design, creating improvised disruptors. Citizens worked together, carrying supplies, repairing shields, and helping one another. Rami and Lyra moved across the city, disabling fragments wherever they landed, each time. Rami's device struck true, and each time, cheers rose from the people. Fear was slowly being replaced by courage. But as night fell, the largest fragment descended. It was massive, larger than a building, and it landed directly on the city's outskirts. The ground shook violently, and the impact sent waves of dust and debris into the air. The machine unfolded, towering above the streets. It was not just a probe, it was a colossus. Its glowing eyes scanned the city, and its arms crackled with raw energy. Rami stared up at it, his heart pounding. "That thing, it's like nothing we've faced before." Lyra's voice was calm but firm. "This is the true test. Humanity must prove its resilience now." Rami adjusted his tool, but he knew it wasn't enough. The Colossus was too powerful. For one device, they would need everyone, every human invention, every act of courage, every ounce of determination. He turned to the command center's broadcast system and spoke into the communicator. "Everyone in Orion City, listen. This is our moment. That machine is strong, but we are stronger. Use every tool, every drone, every invention you have. Together, we can bring it down." The city roared with energy. Engineers powered up shields. Drones swarmed the Colossus, and citizens armed themselves with modified devices. The battle had begun, not between machines, but between determination and despair. Rami aimed his tool again, Lyra beside him, guiding his every adjustment. Pulses of energy struck the Colossus, slowing it down. Drones swirled around, targeting weak points. Humans worked together with precision and bravery. For the first time, Rami felt the full meaning of the beacon's message. It wasn't just a warning. It was a call to humanity to rise, to act, and to show why they were special among the stars. And as the battle raged through the night, Rami knew one thing for certain. Humans would not give up. Not now. Not ever. The giant machine, the Colossus, stood like a mountain of metal on the edge of Orion City. Its glowing eyes swept over the towers, its arms humming with dangerous energy. Every citizen could feel the weight of its presence. The city's future rested on this moment. Rami stood on the rooftop beside Lyra, his tool glowing faintly in his hands. All around them, drones zipped through the sky and defense shields flickered under stress. Sparks lit up the night, and the people of the city held their breath. "This is it," Rami whispered. "If we fail now, the city will fall." Lyra turned her bright gaze to him. "But you will not fail. Humans never stop when hope is on the line." The Colossus raised one massive arm, charging energy that crackled like thunder. It aimed at the heart of the city, where thousands of people gathered in shelters. Rami gritted his teeth. "Not while I'm still standing." He lifted his tool and fired a pulse. The energy hit the machine's arm, throwing its aim slightly off. The attack blasted into the side of a hill instead of the city. Dust and rocks flew everywhere, but the shelters remained untouched. Cheers rose from the streets, but the Colossus was not finished. It moved slowly, but with terrifying strength, crushing metal structures under its feet. Each step shook the ground. Rami looked at the citizens through the broadcast screen. His voice rang out across the city. "Everyone, listen. This fight isn't mine alone. It belongs to all of us. Use what you have: tools, machines, drones. Humanity's strength is in working together. Let's show this machine what we can do." The city answered with action. Engineers redirected power to the shield generators. Children ran messages through the streets, helping coordinate groups. Farmers brought fuel for emergency machines. Scientists guided drones toward weak points they spotted on the Colossus's armor. It wasn't just soldiers fighting now, it was everyone. Humanity itself was standing. Lyra pointed at glowing seams along the machine's legs. "There, its joints are vulnerable. Strike together, and it will fall." Rami relayed the message. Dozens of drones focused their fire on the glowing joints, while citizens on rooftops used modified tools like Rami's to send out energy pulses. The Colossus staggered as sparks flew from its knee. It roared, a metallic sound that shook windows. But for the first time, it faltered. Rami saw his chance. "Lyra, boost my tool." She placed her hands on the device, her alien knowledge merging with human design. The tool glowed brighter than ever before, humming with new energy. "Now, Rami," she said softly, "show them the light of your people." He aimed carefully and fired at the damaged joint. A burst of white energy shot out, striking true. The leg collapsed, and the Colossus fell to one knee, smashing the ground. The city erupted with cheers. But the machine still moved, dragging itself forward, raising its other arm for one final attack. "We're not done yet," Rami said, his heart racing. The Colossus aimed again at the shelters. Its chest opened, revealing a core glowing like a burning star. One more blast, and the city would be lost. Rami felt fear, but he also felt something stronger: the weight of everyone depending on him. He looked at Lyra, who gave him a firm nod. "You are human," she said. "That is enough." With all his strength, Rami lifted the tool, now glowing with the energy of both human and alien knowledge. He aimed at the core. Together, he shouted. Drones fired. Citizens sent pulses. The city poured all its hope into one final strike. The tool released its brightest blast yet, merging with the city's attack. The combined energy struck the glowing core. For a moment, silence fell. Then the Colossus's chest cracked open, light spilling out like dawn breaking over the horizon. The machine let out one final roar before collapsing completely, shaking the earth with its fall. Its lights went dark. The battle was over. The people of Orion City cheered so loud it echoed across the mountains. Strangers hugged each other. Children danced in the streets. Humanity had stood together and won. Rami dropped to his knees, exhausted, but smiling. "We did it," he whispered. Lyra knelt beside him. "Yes, not because of weapons or machines, but because of unity. This is why humanity matters." Later, as the city repaired itself, The beacon on Rami's table flickered one last time before fading into silence. Its warning had been fulfilled, but now it carried a new meaning, not just danger, but victory. Rami walked through the streets, greeted by grateful faces. Some called him a hero, but he shook his head. "I only build a tool," he told them. "It was all of you who saved this city." Lyra watched with quiet pride. She had traveled far, carrying the burden of the beacon, but now she understood why. The galaxy needed to see what she had seen today: the courage, creativity, and unity of humanity. That night, as the stars shone bright again, Rami stood on his rooftop. The Colossus lay silent outside the city, a broken monument to a challenge. Overcome, he looked at Lyra. "So what happens now?" he asked. She smiled. "Now the galaxy will learn. The story of this night will travel far. And when others face darkness, they will remember how humans turned fear into light." Rami gazed up at the endless sky. He didn't know what new challenges would come, but he felt ready. Humanity had proven itself, and as long as humans stood together, no force in the universe could break them.